Okay. But the participant has to share her screen. It just says podium.
Yeah, not the Alliance for Children, just this.
Does it say Alliance for Children on?
The main one, but I turned the video off, so.
Should she wait to share her screen? Probably.
Yeah. You know what, you said the question up there, right?
Yeah, but you want to put the other stuff up. Or can you still put the other stuff up with hers up here?
It's so random. I was watching YouTube videos, like saw somebody.
Try to go ahead and put the pledge up or something. See if it goes up there. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
And he's in scoops and he has sand down. Stuff.
Yeah. I thought about, there's a point mile where it's. You can totally see me with the.
Okay. How about now?
Now it's back.
All day.
But you can control it. I just stopped sharing.
You have to stop shooting for it to go in.
So, I got
Yes, and code, a bunch of just dried seaweed and kind of crack. You come up on the beach and got out there early and you could see the track. It was sweeping all the way up.
Yeah.
Looked like it almost looked like a hay baler. It just wasn't baling.
Yeah.
But you line it up and then go into.
Oh, it kind of went wrong. Almost, yeah.
Anyway.
So when you come up, this is what you'll see. See down here, it says share.
Wake up early, you're at the
Just
beach.
click
for
on-
maybe-
So maybe that one. What do you see? Okay. Can you see on further?
No. It's just the ones.
Oh, neither can I actually. Oh, because it's resume slideshow. I don't mess up your slideshow. Can you see something different?
Yeah.
How about now? There's a delay on it. How about now? What about now? We're all hoping for the best.
Maybe one time.
Okay.
Yeah. Loaded on his head.
We're too hard. What jobs in that?
Okay, is it on the desktop?
It's on the
It was kind of.
flash drive.
Okay, I'll put-
I just drag them all into the flash drive.
I just wanna make sure I know where to pull it up.
Okay. Sorry. No, did it ever come up?
So just showing the, Alliance for Children.
What if we stop this share and try different? Because there were a bunch that came up. Maybe it's a different one.
That's true.
Oh no, what? Don't let me play with computers.
It's a lot of money from this.
Okay, it's not gonna
Wait,
work.
hold on.
For
this.
At this point, it's continuing on plans. It takes me.
We'll just have to start it when we start it then.
All right, when she wants out.
Mhm.
You still try.
Am I gonna know how to do that?
Change all of the screen over there. Yeah, the podium.
Yeah, she does. There.
Now change screen.
Yeah, we- we-
I get it.
Oh, hold on. Let me do from the beginning. It's not letting me even start it.
But still just that. Gonna be stubborn. Apparently, that's where I'm at. Stay on it for a second, see if it catches up. Do me a favor, stop sharing. Now pull up your presentation again. Don't even mess with this at all. Oh wait, that was the wrong thing. There we go. We'll just do it that way. And now it'll click through. Okay. She just stopped sharing. Not gonna share. Who are we sharing it with? YouTube. It goes YouTube live. Please don't say those words to me.
Thanks, Chad, man, that's that tree contract.
So what are you doing?
But yeah, tell the tax. That is expensive. It's all time. I mean, the good thing that they give you all the options, but. Most PC style is. So much time. Used to be my garment though. I was jealous that you could also have we had like solid for Friday. All Friday. I'll do it. To pick up. I hate to have to go. To run back. I might be boycotting. I was so getting jealous.
Wow.
I love this one. Reminds me of Jurassic Park. Mhm.
There's supposed to be a green.
Did you see the moves in all that?
I also had really cool story to tell you. I stepped on one of the big shoes in the garage. Stepped on it, tripped it up, broke it. All I did was the shoe.
Oh, Lego.
Yeah, that's hurt too.
Mhm.
But a shoe really hurt your pride.
So that was the biggest injury.
That was it.
From the unique.
Yeah. This should be bigger than accident when you might do both. People you must also. Big accident, but.
Oh, you are talking to her.
But. They all here, but somebody, last time.
It's a very fun house. I love hearing you speak so much.
I'll say that to be very respectful of this past week. Very respectful, but very. I'll leave that fast. He does.
See, I got hooked up. It's both of mine. Do you have one right in front of you? It's on audit teams. Okay, so they're gonna, it's up here. That's Kelsey and Dan are. Handle that.
The numbers for radio.
Right.
Agendas and all of that kind of.
I think okay with you.
Well,
Fair. I'm out.
How many people is on? How many people?
Yeah, well, we said that. We did that.
One. I did.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone.
Oh, you're the last.
Which to me is the end of the meeting. I'm like.
Well, it's nice.
That's the wrong.
Yeah, but.
So we have two, two, and three. I'm still. I'm gonna warm out this.
And then.
They won't know.
You're gonna be like. Yeah. This is actually.
Because it's.
Right, if we were.
Now, when you go with the annual presentation, yes, I didn't.
Yeah.
When I do that, presentation. It's trying to watch the stars. They're starting to get on nerves. They go. I couldn't make it to the end of the games. I didn't get it's very disappointing. 10 o'clock is like.
Yeah.
India rebuilding cricket. You ever go to Great Prairie? Is it fast? Yeah, you like it. That's all.
Oh, I do for me, I do.
Anything on the round. It's called Mountain View Nature Preserve. Maybe you have all that, I should say, from parking grounds, they all have different cricket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
And it ended in TCE. So, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
And it ended in TCE. So, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
And it ended in TCE. So, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
And it ended in TCE. So, sorry, Chris.
We apologize for technical difficulties. I don't know why this is there.
Yeah, we did it.
We apologize for technical difficulties. I don't know why this is.
There we go. You're welcome. We gotta do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we did it.
We apologize for technical difficulties.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your patience. We're going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. And as you can see, technology is wonderful when it works. So this is the Kennedale City Council regular meeting. Today's date is April 21st, 2026, and I've got 5:34 p.m. Good afternoon. And we are at City Council Chambers, 405 Municipal Drive, Kennedale, Texas, 76060. Madam Secretary, may we get a roll call, please? Kennedale City Council.
Yes, sir. Mayor Brad Horton,
Present.
Councilmember Place One, David Glover,
Here.
Councilmember Place Two, Thelma Kovac,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem in Place Three, Kenneth Michaels,
Here.
Councilmember Place Five, Jeff Navarre.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you.
Brad
At
Horton.
this time, we are going to do our invocation and pledges of allegiance to the U.S. and Texas flags. I'm going to ask that you all stand, and Councilman Navarez is going to lead us in our invocation. Councilman Michaels is going to lead us in our pledges.
Place.
Please pray with me. Father God, we ask you.
Thank you.
Yes, we ask that you
And
guide us
pledges going to the U.S. and Texas flag. Pledges.
We ask that you bless
ask that you all
us.
stand. Councilman, we ask that you all stand, and Councilman Navarez is going to lead us in our invocation. Councilman Michaels is going to lead us in our
Father
pledges.
God, we ask.
Thank you.
Yes, God, we ask you.
And pledges going to the U.S. and Texas flag. Pledges. Bless the U.S. and Texas flag. Pledges. Please ask that you all stand, and Councilman Navarez is going to lead us in our invocation. Navarez is going to lead us in our pledges. Councilman Michaels is going to lead us in our
Yes, God, we ask.
and pledges. Thank you. And pledges. U.S. and Texas flag. Pledges. Please ask that you all stand. All right, so now we're going to move into our public comment section. And the Kennedale City Council welcomes comments from the public. Those wishing to speak must sign in prior to the start of the meeting, or if you have not done so, you wish to speak, please go ahead and do so now. All speakers may speak on any topic, whether on the agenda or not. The Kennedale City Council cannot act upon, discuss issues raised, or make any decisions at this time. Speakers under citizens' comments shall observe a 3-minute time limit. Inquiries regarding matters not listed on this agenda may be referred to staff or research and or possible future action by the council. The council cannot act. Madam Secretary, do we have anybody wishing to speak?
No, sir, we've not received any speakers lists.
Anybody at this time? Wish to speak? Time limit. Inquiries regarding matters not listed. All right. Staff or research. So we will now move to our presentations portion. And up first, we've got the Alliance for Children Child Abuse Prevention.
No, sir, we've not received any speakers lists.
Anybody at this time? Time limit. Inquiries regarding matters not listed. All right. Staff.
Okay, Barbara, I need to
or
go
research.
get.
So we will now move to our presentations portion. And up first, we've got the Alliance for Children Child Abuse Prevention.
No, sir, we've not received any speakers lists.
Anybody at this time? Time limit. Inquiries regarding matters not listed. All right. Staff.
Okay, Barbara, I need to
or
go
research.
get.
So we will now move to our presentations portion. And up first, we've got the Alliance for Children Child Abuse Prevention.
No, sir, we've not received any speakers lists.
Anybody at this time? Time limit. Inquiries regarding matters not listed. All right. Staff.
Okay, Barbara, I need to
or
go get.
research.
So. I
So
had this working a minute
we
ago,
will
I'm
now
sorry.
move to our presentations portion. And up first, we've got the Alliance for Children Child Abuse Prevention.
Will it go to the other slides? Okay.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
All right.
Okay, my name is Emma. I am with Alliance for Children. I'm one of the team relations supervisors. So we have been here, I think, every year to accept a child abuse proclamation from y'all in the month of April. This year, we decided to do something a little bit different. We wanted to give y'all a glimpse into who we are, what we do, and how we are directly working with you. And I am with Lions Department, and I'm one of the team relations supervisors. So we have been changing the slide, but it's not showing you. So our mission at Alliance for Children is to protect the children of Tarrant County, and we do that through three different ways: team investigations, healing services, and our community outreach program. So the focus really initially is our team investigations, and that's where we work a lot with y'all. So I wish I could show this, but when we talk about a team investigation, we're talking about our multidisciplinary team, and it's healing services and our community outreach. So the focus really initially is our team investigations, and that's where we work a lot with y'all. So I wish I could show this, but when we talk about a team investigation, we're talking about our multidisciplinary team, and it's healing services and our community outreach. So the focus really initially is our team investigations, and that's where we work a lot with y'all. So I'm show this, but when we talk about a team investigation, we're talking about, okay, this is what I want to show y'all. So when we talk about our team, we're talking about our multidisciplinary team, and that involves DFPS, which is coming from the lane of child protection. So a lot of times in these investigations, they're the ones with the eyes on the child as a whole, making sure caregivers are protected. This child is going to be protected in the future from the we're talking about the DA's office, disciplinary medical professionals that are coming in and letting the child know your body is safe, conducting the same exams, of course, us, and also law enforcement. So we work directly with actually Starling, who will come up here with me. But he is a huge asset to us. I was actually talking to the coordinator assigned to Kennedale, asking her if she had any input, anything she wanted me to share with y'all tonight. And she said that anytime that she's called him, he's responsible. So we work he's always grounded in his decision making. He responds immediately. And I actually had to call him yesterday about a case. I was very confused. He knew all about it, was able to direct me in the right place so that we didn't delay an investigation for this victim that was living here in Kennedale, but there were no offenses here. So this started as a great idea many years ago, having all of these people working together. Because what was happening was children were making outcries of abuse, and all of these people were investigating, but not together. So you would have CPS interviewing this kid, you would have medical interviewing this kid, you would have law enforcement interviewing this kid, schools. And these children were making, I think they said the average was like 9 different statements, which is too many. It's traumatizing, and they were being traumatized by the system. So what started as a great idea to bring all of these people together to work in unison actually was so successful that it was written into law, and we're really proud of that. I think they said the average was like we at Alliance for Children don't take every case of abuse or neglect. We specialize in certain cases. Severe physical abuse, so we're talking about the skull fractures, rib fractures, head traumas. We assist in all child fatalities, children that have witnessed a violent crime, so maybe they saw a homicide, maybe they witnessed a kidnapping. We also specialize in sexual abuse, so that could be from someone living in the home, so where DFPS would be involved, from a classmate where the DFPS wouldn't be involved, and it's just law enforcement, all the way to child sex trafficking. Maybe they saw a homicide, maybe they witnessed a kidnapping. So the first time that a child will typically, or a family will come into our center, someone living in, these are them, they're coming in for a forensic interview. We do have 3 different centers. Tarrant County is big. We want to make sure that families have access to our services, that it's easy for them to get there. So we have one in Fort Worth, one in Hearst, and then we have one in Arlington, but it's a bigger campus, and our clinical side is in a different house. So that's the cute little house one that you see, and then we have our investigative side. So typically the families living in Kennedale will go to our Arlington center, but we want to make sure that we are limiting the amount of barriers for families to access our services. And so say Sergeant Starling gets a case where the offense happened here, but the family lives in Watauga. We're going to ask that he drives to that Northeast Center in Hearst. That way the family is familiar with that center every time that they come to meet with an advocate or their clinician. So it does limit the trauma. It's great to have so many different centers. We're very blessed to have that. So yes, typically Arlington, but he could have to go anywhere. To that. And like I said, the first time that they're coming to us, it's typically for a forensic interview. So the forensic interview is conducted by trained individuals. Their sole job is to talk to kids. And in that, they're creating this safe environment where a child does feel safe talking about these horrible things that they have witnessed or endured. In law enforcement and CPS, the top picture is what the interview rooms look like. All three of our centers have them. Multiple rooms. The bottom photo is where our investigators sit. And so they're watching the interview happen in real time and they're able to interact with the interviewer at certain points in the interview. So our interviewers understand that they're trained in interviewing kids. Our investigators are trained in their investigations. So we need to give that opportunity for the investigators to say, hey, I need some clarification on this for my offense. Or CPS to get that clarification to make sure mom is still protected. I'm just giving examples. But so this is essentially what it looks like. No one's allowed to go and watch these interviews except the investigators. So we need to, I mean, they're pretty nice rooms. Clarification on this. So that was the first piece, more of the investigative piece. We also offer healing services. So we have a really robust family advocacy program. And that is when they come in for the forensic interviews, the families, and they'll meet with the family advocate as well, the caregivers will. And that family advocate is going to meet the family wherever they are. So we have families that come in and, you know, maybe this wasn't a household member, it was a classmate and, you know, that inflicted the abuse. And so they really just need our clinical services. They don't need much else from us. But then we have families that come in and they became a single parent household overnight. And maybe the sole caregiver now wasn't working. Well, now we have a lot of ways that we can help them. We also have a program called our Makeover Project. So if a child was abused in their home, and let's say their bedroom, for example, and that space doesn't feel safe anymore, we'll go in and we'll remodel their bedroom, however they want it. Paint the walls, new beds, new bedding, curtains, whatever that looks like, whatever they're really wanting, just so that they can feel safe in their space again. We also offer clinical services, and that's not just to the victims, that's also to their caregivers. And all of this is completely free of charge. And a lot of that is from support from our cities that we work with, like y'all. So thank you for that. Just so that they can feel safe in their space. So just to give you an idea, these are DFPS numbers from last year. There were almost 4,600 confirmed cases of child abuse last year. So out of those, we saw almost 2,300 of those kiddos, and we're able to provide services. They had a thorough investigation, and we were able to continue to work with them. These are DFPS numbers from last year. So 4,600 confirmed cases of child. This is kind of a visual of what it looks like to run two investigations at the same time, a law enforcement and a DFPS investigation. So you can see Alliance for Children is kind of sandwiched in the middle. But wherever this call is coming from, wherever this report is coming from, whether it's law enforcement or CPS, we're cross-checking everything. Does law enforcement need to be involved if it's a DFPS case? Does CPS need to be involved if it's a law enforcement only case? And then working through and holding the family's hand the entire step of the way through this. And also supporting our partners, because law enforcement and CPS, they don't speak the same language. And they also are looking at different things. CPS is looking at child protection, law enforcement is looking at the criminal aspect. So making sure that we're funneling all of that through. And then the third part of this is our community education. So we do provide community education to children. Right now, we're kind of in this new age where these kiddos are meeting the suspects online a lot now. And so we're providing a lot of education around internet safety to children and caregivers. We also provide education to professionals. Yeah, that's that. And I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions? I blew through that. No? Okay. Thank you. I don't know how to end it now. How to work things. Julie, what do you think?
All right, thank you. Up next, we've got the Kennedale Police Department to present a life-saving award to Officer Bullard. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council. There we go. Tonight, we're going to be presenting the Life-Saving Award to Officer Channing Bullard. Just so you know, the Life-Saving Award is ranked in prominence next to the Medal of Valor Award. It is to be worn on the officer's uniform, on their Class A uniform. And it is to be awarded to any officer directly responsible for the saving of human life. On February 13th, 2026, at approximately 12:53 p.m. in the afternoon, Officer Channing Bullard was working her assigned post at the Kennedale Junior High School located at 930 Corey A. Edwards when she was notified of a code red alert in room 309. A code red alert is a medical emergency at our school campuses. Officer Bullard responded to the classroom where she found a student on the ground unresponsive. Officer Bullard, finding the student with no notable pulse, began CPR. Alongside the school nurse, Officer Bullard continued performing life-saving measures until paramedics arrived and transported the student to the local hospital. The student has since made a full recovery and returned to class. We are thankful as a community, a department, that Officer Bullard was present that day and performed her duties professionally. Her quick action was paramount in saving a young life. Officer Bullard showed her commitment to her purpose that day. It is with sincere thanks and honor that we present Officer Channing Bullard with the Life-Saving Award. Channing, will you please come up here? Your certificate. Is this your bar? Right over here for me.
Congratulations. Our next presentation is from Sabre Communications Corporation regarding the Kennedale Texas Enterprise Project nomination.
Is there a way to show the presentation up there? Okay. There it is. It's delayed, okay. Hello, my name is Jansen Gibbons. I'm here on behalf of Sabre. Thank you, Mayor Horton and members of the council. I just kind of wanted to introduce about Sabre and the Texas Enterprise Zone project and their request for a nomination to the Texas Enterprise Zone program today. The Texas Enterprise Zone program, it's an state incentive program that offers an incentive to hire individuals who live in economically disadvantaged areas, as well as make new capital investment and retain employee or jobs here in the state of Texas. It's limited to 105 projects every 2 years, and every quarter there's an application round, and there's 12 potential selections. So it's a very competitive process. Every round there's 12 projects selected. And so Sabre is requesting to apply for an upcoming round. And the city of Kennedale every 2 years can elect to nominate 6 applicants to the Texas Enterprise Zone program. And that 2-year cycle began on September 1st. The benefit is the state portion of sales and use tax that's paid on taxable purchases that are used at the facility here in Kennedale. And the value of the benefit is $2,500 per job that is retained up to 500 jobs. So the maximum benefit is $1.25 million. And there's no fiscal impact to the city because it's strictly just the state sales and use tax, not the city portion. So there's no fiscal impact to the city. And so the Savers is simply requesting your support and nomination to the governor's office today. Businesses are not required to be located within within an enterprise zone in order to participate in the program. And the requirements of the program, there's $5 million in minimum capital investment that have to be spent over a 5-year period. The capital investment is not limited to like an expansion or new construction. So new equipment and upgrades at the facility all qualify under the program. And the jobs, they have to be maintained for 3 years or through, or longer through the end of the designation period, which is a 5-year designation period. And if they don't retain the number of jobs they receive benefit for, then the saver will be liable to repay any benefit that they receive to the state. And all of this is audited by the Texas Comptroller's Office and sort of managed by the Texas Comptroller's Office, so the city wouldn't be managing any of the audit or compliance from this. And so Sabre, they're a mission critical infrastructure utility support structures company. Their primary industry sectors are utilities, telecom, building systems, and as well as galvanizing metal. They build all of the, Sabre manufactures all of like the metal telephone poles and power utility poles that you see out there. Back in 2015, they acquired the Fort Worth Tower location here in Kennedale, and it serves as part of their broader Texas operations for their utility structure and manufacturing. They have 4 manufacturing facilities here in the state of Texas with additional locations in Louisiana, Ohio, and Iowa. And they have approximately 800 employees nationwide and 320 employees here in Kennedale at a 328,000 square foot manufacturing facility spread across 74 acres. As far as what Sabre will be doing in order to qualify for the program, they'll be investing more than $5 million over the 5-year period. They plan to invest in equipment replacement and upgrades, new hoists, cranes and hoists, concrete work out there at the facility, as well as a new cobot rail system. They have about 320 employees that qualify for the program, and they also anticipate creating about 10 new jobs as well. The city of Kennedale previously elected to participate in the program by passing ordinance number 717. And so the only thing that's required today is to consider and approve a nominating resolution that's on the agenda. And that's what will be included in an application to be submitted to the governor's office. And of course, we're here at the city council meeting today for the nomination. With that said, thank you for your time, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions?
I just want to make sure I understand. So if you get this, you get tax break back, which you have to reinvest into your facilities for growth, correct?
Right. So the tax is a refund of everything that, for that investment that's here at the facility here in Kennedale. Yeah, it's directly tied to that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So while we're here, we're going to go ahead and go down to regular session item number 2 to consider this. And we've got to consider resolution number 646. I'm going to open the floor up for the council to discuss if we'd like.
I'm not sure if there's any discussion, Mr. Mayor, so I'll put forward, I make a motion to approve resolution number 646.
Okay.
I will second it.
All right. And we up and running, ready to. All right. So we'll see if it works. Council, please cast your votes. And the motion passes unanimously. And fantastic. Worked great. I love it. All right. So now we're going to move into, again, regular session. Backing up one item. Item number one, take action to accept the approval of the independent auditor's annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2025. Turn it over to our auditors.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, Mayor and council members. We're here to discuss the fiscal year 2025 year-end audit. And my name is Dan Barone. I'm an audit partner with Forbes Mazars, and with me is Kelsey Blackshear. She's our in charge, basically the one that leads our engagement and works with John and the finance team to work on the audit. So I do want to thank the city manager and John and the finance team for working with us. They're always very responsive and very cooperative in working with us. We have a very good professional working relationship with them. So that's very important in doing the audit. So I do want to thank them and acknowledge all the hard work that they do in working with us on the financial statements. So we'll go through the audit scope and results, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the future pronouncements, and then we'll leave any time for questions at the end. But if you have any questions in between, don't hesitate to stop me and ask anything. So what we were engaged to do was we performed the audit of the city's annual comprehensive financial report and the standalone Economic Development Corporation that has issues its own standalone financial statements. So we did issue unmodified or clean opinions on both of those reports, the city's financial statements and the EDC's financial statements. And those are the type of reports, opinions that you want. Unmodified is the clean opinion, no modifications to it. You did have a few recorded audit adjustments. Some of these are in going through and providing, and we're engaged to also assist with the preparation and the completion of the ACFR, the annual comprehensive financial report and the financial statements. So some of these entries relate to that we're outsourced to perform. We had some entries related to some of the GASB statements related to your pensions, your OPEB, leases, SEBITAs, and compensated absences this year is a new standard. We also work with some year-end entries for financial reporting for going from your budget basis, your accrual, your budget basis or your modified accrual basis to a full accrual basis for your financial statements. And then we also had other entries that were required for financial financial statement reporting purposes. Those other adjustments that I've just mentioned, those were proposed and those were actually made to the financial statements. These are past audit adjustments. These are typically where you have timing differences. You might have some entries that aren't really material that they kind of work themselves out from year to year. And so instead of making these entries, they're passed on. So there was a few minor adjustments that were passed on during the year. As I mentioned, the second one here relates to an entry that was really should have been an accrual last year that was passed on. So it's just a reversal of that. There's also an entry that was passed on for your adoption of GASB Statement 101, which deals with compensated absences. And rather than going back and restating the previous fiscal fund balance and net position, the city management decided to just pass on that adjustment as well too, which is typical. Most of our cities that we audit did the same thing. They didn't go back and restate because it was not a material adjustment. And then there was also another immaterial adjustment that was passed related to some intergovernmental revenues that were recognized in the current fiscal year that should have been recognized in prior fiscal years. But like I said, those are really just mainly timing differences. The significant accounting policies, those are described in Note 1 of the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. And they're in line with generally accepted accounting principles. They list all the accounting policies. There was one change in accounting policies this year, and it's just with the adoption, as I mentioned previously, GASB statement number 101, which is compensated absences. So it just gave a little bit more definition of what those leaves that are required to be reported and to how to actually calculate those. So it didn't cause a significant change in your financial statements, but that was a new standard. No matters are reportable related to any type of alternative accounting treatments. There weren't any. And the financial statements also include different disclosures, primarily related to your pensions and your OPEB, a lot of the methodology and the assumptions used for those, leases and your SABITA, your subscription-based information technology arrangements, and then also descriptions on some of the tax abatements that you have as well too. Some of the areas where we look at management judgments and accounting estimates and look at the reasonableness of these these estimates. They relate to your pensions, your OPEBs, some of your accounts receivable, the collectability of those, fair value of investments. So these are areas that there are some assumptions that are made and methodologies, and we do look at those to make sure that they're reasonable and that there's no management bias in them, and we did not identify any issues with any of these estimates. We did have a couple of minor deficiencies. One with the year-end close, I mentioned some of the entries that we proposed at the end of the year to get to the reporting for the annual comprehensive financial report. And the other one I mentioned too previously was some of your intergovernmental revenues. There were some expenditures that were made in previous fiscal years where really the revenue should have matched it. And we noticed this year that it wasn't. The revenue was recognized in the current year when those funds were received. But, on a budget basis, it's really not any change. This is more of just a gap reporting issue. So these are just a couple of deficiencies that we identified related to those entries. On a positive note, the city did receive their Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. So the act for every year you submit this to GFOA to try to receive that award. And so that is a very good award to get, and very hard to get that award. So this was received for the fiscal year 2024, and we believe that you'll receive it again for 2025. That the act for has been submitted for this fiscal year as well too. Going ahead and that's really the end of the results of the audit. Some of the future pronouncements that are out there, I'm not going to hit on these. There's 3 pronouncements that'll be subject and will be adopted in the next 2 fiscal years. The first one is GASB Statement 103, and it shouldn't have a significant impact on the city, but it will kind of clarify some some reporting improvements for the financial statements. We also have disclosure of certain capital assets. It basically does the same thing, just kind of makes some consistencies on how to report some of your capital assets. And the final one is GASB Statement 105, subsequent events. This is just saying that up to a certain date, the city would be required to analyze and assess any subsequent events that happened after the fiscal year end, and you would have to disclose any subsequent events that are significant that in the financial statements. Finally, I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about ourselves, Forbes Mazars. We've changed a lot the last few years. I think I've been here 6 years now, going on 6 years, and I've had 3 different name changes with the firm. So we started off as BKD, and we merged 3 years ago with the firm DHG, and kind of gave us more of a national footprint, global. And then this past year, we merged with another firm to form a global alliance with Mazars. So that's our name is Forbes Mazars, but we really do have a national footprint throughout the nation. And one of the things that we do pride ourselves in is the public sector. We do a lot of cities, not only here in Texas, but throughout the country. But our group here in the DFW area, we audit about 30 different cities just here in Texas. So with that, I'll turn it over to any any questions you might have?
Just have two quick questions for you. On slide 6, around the audit scope and results, it has recorded audit adjustments. I think you said they weren't very significant changes, but can you just elaborate how meaningful are the changes that were adjusted?
The recorded adjustments?
Yeah, we're talking like $5,000 or $50,000. I'm just trying to gauge it.
Well, the top ones are probably a little more material because those are like one time, just your year-end entries that we're outsourced to perform. So those are like adding your pension and your OPEB, which you don't regularly have those on your financial statements. So those GASB statements, those are pretty big, but they're not really meaningful because when I say not meaningful, they're not like on your books on a budget basis. They're only 1 year in reporting. So that's what those GASB statements. The other ones, the last bullet point, the various ones, those are not material. Those are probably in the thousands, not really significant, but just to make like the fund balances to roll and to make sure that we had the right classification. Those are a little bit more insignificant, but we still kind of have to report these, make these and propose them so that things roll correctly on the financials.
Okay, thank you. And then second question on slide 10, it mentions that the city will be required to undergo a single audit or the SLFRF examination.
Yeah, so that's in process right now. So there was some, the SLFRF, that's your state, local fiscal recovery funds. And so we're in the process of doing that now. So typically the city hasn't had single audits in the past, but because you met this threshold, we're having to do it for 24 and 25. And so what that'll primarily do is just looking at those recovery funds, the ARPA funds, and to look at expenditures within those to make sure that they're allowable. All the reporting was done correctly. You spent the money, so now it's just a matter of us going back through and looking at those to make sure that they were in compliance.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? If not, then I will entertain a motion to accept the approval of the independent auditor's annual comprehensive financial report.
I'll make a motion to accept the independent auditor's annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2025.
Do we have a second?
I will second it.
And council, please cast your vote. All right, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, guys.
Great, thank you.
All right, finally, we've got I believe, discussion item, an SRO for Fellowship Academy. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to bring to the attention of the council in reference to Fellowship Academy have approached me a couple of months ago in reference to adding a school resource officer to their campus. With that, their board requested a quote for say, or a estimate of what an SRO would cost. With that, one of the things they also requested, since we have a contract with the school district that is also a 50-50 match, if we would be able to do the same for their school as well. With that, obviously, a discussion will have to go forward with the council if we want to move forward with that. I did provide a quote to them of an estimate quote indicating what the cost would before we go into any further discussion if they could afford or if they wanted to move forward with it. At this point, they requested that we move forward with adding an SRO to that, which they have agreed would be a 50-50 match if the city would make that allowance. With that, and I do want to indicate that we do have that contract with the school. They currently have, the Kennedale School District has two SROs. One of them was 100% funded by the school, and one position at the junior high is funded at 50/50, 50/50 split by equipment, vehicle, salaries, the total cost of one officer. With that, I wanted to bring the discussion to the council to have a discussion if we want to move forward contracting with Fellowship Academy. At this point, I don't see any additional cost based off of the savings that we have occurred with the school district paying 100% of the SRO at the high school. With that, that gives us currently a 50% savings if we want to move forward and match that same obligation with Fellowship Academy with that 50/50 match.
Open the floor for discussion, questions.
So based on that last comment, Mr. City Manager, are we subsidizing Fellowship with the money that KISD is paying the police department?
No, with the savings that with the new contract that we signed with Kennedale ISD, we were paying 50/50 for each officer. So one officer was 50/50 at the high school. Then at the junior high, we had another officer that was 50/50. Cost was split. With that, as we move forward, the Kennedale ISD requested that they have an officer basically full-time at the high school, currently year-round. With that, they absorbed the 100% cost of that SRO. As we're budgeted, that has given us a savings of the 50% of that salary. What I'm requesting as we move forward and approved to move forward, I request that 50% savings to be allotted to Fellowship Academy for that same purpose as we do for the Kennedale ISD.
Got it. Thank you.
So are we just promoting within, or are we going to create a new position to fill this and go 50/50 from there?
It will create a new position, which will add to with the approval.
Okay.
Nothing. So it sounds like the council would be in agreement to recommend you continue moving forward with this.
That's ultimately is what I think we're, for the most part, for the preliminary status of it, I think we're at this point, we can move forward with the contract. If the council believes that's the direction we want to go, I think it'd be the right thing, since we have a contract with our local school district, with Fellowship Academy having those same restrictions, the same responsibilities. I feel it'd be fair for us to offer that same ability.
Sure. Do you feel like you've got enough guidance from the council to kind of move forward with that?
With your approval for me to move forward with a contract.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What has caused Fellowship Academy to decide that they need an SRO? And would this position be a full-time or a part-time position?
This will be a full-time position at the school. So whenever the school is in service, they will have an SRO there. Once the school is out for the summer, or if they have breaks, the officer will come back to the city and perform patrol duties or other duties that's asked of them.
What is the reason that they've decided they need this?
Currently, I don't know how many years, but they've had security officers that's been posted there. With their relationship with that and how that's moved forward, they have requested to have a certified police officer.
Last question. Can you just remind us, what was the budgeted amount for the SRO that was for KSE and that would be applied here?
Yeah, it's roughly about 79,000. It includes all fringe benefits, everything, uniforms, gas, vehicle.
So you'd move forward with a contract and then it would come back to council for final approval.
Absolutely, yes. It just gives me a capability to go a little bit further within the contract itself of getting a little bit more details of actually the cost and the duties that's being asked.
All right. Unless I hear any objections from the council, I would say continue to move forward.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to our consent agenda, does anybody have anything that they want to pull and discuss individually? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Sorry, council, please cast your votes. I know. Old habits die hard, right? And the consent agenda passes unanimously, 4-0. So now we're going to move to reports and announcements, and we'll start with updates from our city council. I think we started down that side last time, so we'll start with Councilman Navarez tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just highlight a couple of things. First one, we went to the luncheon for the North Texas Council of Government and got a quick update about the upcoming World Cup that's coming here, that's already here, actually. I think the biggest takeaway I want everybody to understand is pay attention when the games are going on the next couple months. And then what they call like -2, -3, but pre-game and post-game, just stay away. I think that's probably the best advice. We're being told that every other part of it in between just normal things, it's normal operations around DFW. But they're working really hard about connecting trains with buses to get people here. But at these locations and probably within the surrounding area of 10 miles, expect traffic. So if you have businesses around these areas, they're asking for business owners to let their workers work from home these days. So just things to consider that this is happening. It's happening right now and it's coming up. I did take a picture of the dates and I'll get that out to the public, but just be aware that it's happening and plan accordingly. The other one too, I got the blessing to go down to Round Rock for my first part of leadership training through TML. Had an amazing time, some amazing speakers, and got to connect with the TML president and the incoming president as my table partners. And so I look forward to finalizing that in May. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Also saw on the news this afternoon that the cheapest parking pass for the World Cup was $453. That's just parking. Councilman Michaels.
Well, I attended the library's Touch a Truck. It just seems like that event is getting bigger and bigger and everything. I think the biggest truck that everybody enjoyed was the garbage truck. Don't know why when we have a fire truck there. I also attended the groundbreaking at Kennedale Oaks on Mansfield Cardinal. The ribbon cutting for First Fence, new business coming in on Mansfield Highway where they own Kennedale campers. I attended TML Regional 8 meeting, and to correct Jeff, that was the Tarrant County Regional Transportation, and the speakers were from COG. This Saturday is Texas Trash Off with KKB. We're going to be targeting Mansfield Highway. So if you want to do that, be up here at the Town Center Plaza at 9 a.m. Also this Saturday, they're doing Praise in the Park, and it's the local churches that are getting together and doing some praise in the park at 3 p.m. And Methodist Church is doing their May 11th quarter auction, and all proceeds go to the Kennedale Police Department. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Kovac.
Got to go with City Manager Hull and Councilman Glover and deliver some meals to some of our senior citizens earlier this month, and that was fun. That was great to meet some folks that I hadn't had a chance to say hello to in a while.
Thank you. Councilman Glover.
As Councilwoman Kovac mentioned, we did some Mill on Wheels deliveries. That was fun. Thank you to the Public Works Department and Frontier Waste Solutions for hosting the spring cleanup. That's always appreciated at my house. This Thursday, April 23rd, there will be a neighborhood meeting to discuss the Little Road extension. This will be at the where Little Road intersects with the Parkway, and we'll be parking in the Feral Gas parking lot, is my understanding. And lastly, early voting has started, so good luck to all the candidates. Please get to the polls.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to forego the sake of time. Mr. City Manager, I know we got quite a lineup tonight, so.
We do. We're going to finish up our annual report to the council for our departments first, and we'll get our Public Works Director to come up and we'll give a presentation.
Go behind.
Is it in there?
Didn't flip the pages. Oops. Still on.
2025. This one. Yeah.
See? Hey, John? Get this back. Okay. Nothing, Mayor, Council. I'm gonna show you that my presentation is gonna be very short. So to start off, the purpose of the Public Works, it's not gonna change. Even though we have a limited amount of resources, we're gonna still try to provide the best services and public services to the citizens of Kennedale through engineering and thorough planning. For the year 2025, one of our most outstanding achievement was the erection of the ground storage tank that was originally 500 million gallon. When we increased that to 750,000 gallon. Instead of a steel tank, now we have a glass fused steel. The manufacturer showed us that this is going to be a lifetime product, which you'll see. The actual cost for this installation was $1.6 million. Another achievement we had for 2025 was the North Road CDBG project that we used to upgrade at least 1,500 linear feet of 6-inch asbestos cement water line with an 8-inch PVC from 3rd Street to Avalon Park. The city's share on that project was $140,000. The county provided the other $140,000. Some of the street rehab that we did through the county, precinct 2 was the rehabilitation of Sweeney Hyatt at a cost of $397,000. Like this started in 2025, we was also working on New Hope Road, which would be reflected in 2026 because the project wasn't completed until last month, so we're still working with that. Some of the feats that we did here with the city is for public safety is installation of solar panel lights. For last year, we installed 5 at a cost of $50,000. We are looking at seeking some grants to install additional lights throughout the city here. Hopefully we might be able to get a couple of small grants to at least do some more lighting up the city. These pictures here depict some of the other street activities that the public works perform. one of the street repair we did was on Gilman Road. Another one is on Industrial Drive. Just in the sense of man hours do providing pothole and street repair, making it safe for traffic. We spend at least 3,000 man hours of employee city time. These are some pictures of some other activities that the public works perform, installing flashing stoplights and crossbars throughout the city at some locations. Some amenities that we perform over the year was putting that barbecue pit and that bench at Rogers Farm. We installed that new gate at Sonora Park. We also installed I guess I'll go back to what do I call it? Sonora Park. We also have parking lot lights installed on Sonora Park, and that was done through a private contractor. Some of the other amenities that we had to perform throughout the parks is that Rogers Farm, there was no fencing existing, so we installed a chain link fence on, I guess that would be the south side of the park. At Sonora Park, we had a notice board installed right here at the entrance of the pavilion. So on the left, that was mentioned is the parking lights for the park at the Sonora Park. On the right, there is some entrance signs to learn people that come into the city of Kennedale how to locate where they need to go. And it's just some beautification in the city that we decided that we should do. These are some more beautification at Sonora Park. We had some two shaded awnings that we had installed at Sonora Park, and I think that cost us roughly $40,000 to install two of those shaded awnings. Now that the mowing season is here, for last year we spent at least 4,000 man hours doing all this lawn mowing and the parks and the medians and the sidewalks along throughout all the streets in Kennedale that depicts that we need to have mowing done and just keeping the city beautified. And coming to regulatory compliance, for the year 2025, we completed the TCQ, LCRR, led a couple of rule revision. We completed the TCQ MS4 permit renewal, the groundwater permit, water use survey, consumer CCR, the consumer confidence report, and the comprehensive compliance investigation through the TCQ, and the safe route, Federal Railroad Administration quiet zone that we see those cones that is probably damaged now. We need to have them redone, and I'm working with TxDOT to get some funding to have those replaced. Now that New Hope and Everett is paved, we need to update that. And I believe TxDOT is saying sometime later this year, they will be providing some funding that to replace those bollards on those roads to prevent people from swerving from lane to lane. Public also, in general, participate in every city activity or community activity. And on that list is just a listing of some of the activities that we participate in and spend several man hours on participation in city and community activities. Some other activities that we've been frequently tasked to do is do cleanup throughout the city, and this is one that we did in 2025 along the 820 Kennedale Parkway Bridge. Under facility management, one of the big projects we had for 2025 was repainting the inside of the senior center. And, we do various other miscellaneous facility maintenance, repairing HVAC, plumbing, irrigation, and so forth throughout the city, all the facility buildings. Some of the other stuff that we were fortunate to have done was through your generous donations. We were able to get a storage bay for our materials at our shop. We were able to get a new air conditioning unit for the Public Works Department. Most of all, one of the major capital equipment that we acquired in 2025 was the man lift at a cost of roughly $160,000. Some upcoming improvements that we have planned coming up for 2026 is the Little School Road Extension Project. Like Councilmember Glover mentioned, we have a meeting scheduled for Thursday afternoon at 5:30 to discuss that project, just some preliminary engineering concept. We have the Valley Lane Intercept, that's a typo there. The Interceptor project, which is that sanitary sewer project that goes from the racetrack all the way to 820. That's probably it's at 60% design right now. We anticipate it going to construction and have it advertised in early 2027. Other projects, again, is the Valley Lane Stabilization Project. Right now, all we are waiting on is for FEMA to approve that funding, and we are ready to lock and load and move on that project. Hopefully, FEMA would approve that funding for us later this year, probably in another couple of months. And the Hillside Briar Court project, that's been approved, that's been under a contract. We will start in that project in probably another 2 weeks. So mid-May, we should be rocking and rolling on Briar Court Sanitary Improvement Project to eliminate that bottleneck that we have over the years. Also, we are working right now, we are 90% design on the rehab of the elevated storage tank. That should be kicking off and being advertised in June, hopefully to go into construction in July for anticipated completion at the end of the year. So we could expend all the ARPA funding on that. That's it. This is our current staff right now that provides all the services to the city of Kennedale. Any questions, comments I could entertain?
Christian, first of all, great job this year. You really covered a lot of grounds that council has enacted in the past. I won't pick on you this year, but I do want to talk a little bit more on the streetlights. And first of all, I appreciate you including like Spring Branch into that test study. And we haven't really gone to a year, but what's your initial kind of impression with those? Do you think it's a viable plan for the future to update old neighborhoods?
We would like to. I mean, we've been looking at soliciting grants for it because they are pretty expensive. Currently, we've been working with TxDOT, trying to reach out to Tarrant County to get a CDBG grant for streetlights. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we're trying.
So in lieu of the grants, is it possible we can incorporate a handful of these or a street a year on some of the old neighborhoods?
That is the plan. I guess I'll be putting it as my budget wish list. If we could get an additional 50 grand, we'd do another 5.
If you're gonna put on your wish list, put like 10 roads on there. That way I can choose one for you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anyone? All right. Thank you much.
We have HR next, Danielle Clark.
Somehow I'm not sure why that's doing that.
No, this is not the right one. Mm, What is in? We're in the flash drive. Is it this one? Yeah, that one's last year's. That's Bobby Joe's.
Are there two flash drives loaded?
You want me to go?
No, there's just one. Yeah, you want it. Yeah, you want it. Which one's yours? I don't see yours on there. You want to find it?
You wanna do that?
Can you move that? The. To the, that way I can take the picture.
Why don't we take a 5-minute break while they're setting up?
Okay.
You're good now.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
It is 6:47 PM and I guess we can reconvene. Just FYI, I think the Rangers start in 7:05.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, Danielle Clark, Director of Human Resources. This is the HR Department's 2025 year in review. I will keep it brief. Just our mission and vision statement. I have updated these this year just to reflect our current operations and the future goals of the department. So the role of human resources is to support every department in the organization. We focus on ensuring the city has the right people through recruitment, hiring, retention, making sure that we have the right structure and the right policies in place to operate effectively. The HR department also works closely with leadership and employees to support the needs of the organization. We manage risk and we also work to promote a positive culture across all of the departments. So this slide just provides a general overview of how HR time is distributed across the organization. So you can see there's a significant portion of time that's dedicated to hiring and recruitment, as well as supporting leadership and addressing employee relations matters. So these numbers highlight the scope of HR activity during 2025. In addition to recruiting and onboarding 13 new hires for a total of 418 applications reviewed, we also handled employee relations matters, coordinated over 30 training and compliance activities, and supported engagement efforts like our monthly appreciation events and our annual awards dinner. Overall, the HR department supports approximately 73 employees across 9 departments. So our turnover rate for 2025 was 21.98%, which, if you'll see, is slightly lower than 2024's turnover rate, which was just over 22%. One of the things that I want to note about the turnover rate is the size of our organization. Because we are a small organization, any amount of turnover is going to greatly impact our turnover rate than compared to, say, a larger city. There is some turnover that's obviously expected due to retirement and career advancement, but we are going to continue to focus on recruitment and retention and supporting supervisors. My goal for this year moving forward is to get that turnover rate down closer to the 15% mark. And then obviously just continue to identify opportunities for employee development and hopefully create some career pathways for employees to help retain those employees. And that brings me to trends and challenges that we're seeing within the department and within the city. So obviously, like many of the cities around us, Kennedale is operating in a very competitive labor market. We're continuing to see challenges in recruiting for certain roles, specifically as we compete with the larger cities nearby, and also the private sector as well. There's also an increasing need to support growth through career pathways and leadership development, which none of these challenges are necessarily unique to the organization, but they are important to continue to monitor and plan for as we move forward. So we did have several key accomplishments in 2025, one of them being the successful renegotiation of our health insurance, which resulted in a little bit over $57,000 reduction in employer costs while still maintaining the same level of coverage for employees. We also focused on modernizing HR processes, which included implementing a new applicant tracking system and beginning the digitization of all current and historical personnel files. Additionally, we completed both an employee climate survey internally and also supported the community survey, which provided, valuable insight into future planning within the city and then also the community. And last but not least, oh, it keeps switching. Last but not least, we did also continue to prioritize employee engagement and support employees through wellness initiatives and recognition efforts. Now switch. There we go. So looking ahead, HR will continue to focus on several key priorities, which include strengthening our recruitment efforts, expanding supervisor development, and continuing to improve our policies and our internal processes. We're also going to continue to focus on employee engagement and retention to support a stable workforce. Overall, the goal is to ensure that the organization is well positioned to meet both the current and the future workforce needs. Any questions? That's all I have. Okay. Thank you.
All right, that's kind of a tough act to follow. I don't know who scheduled this. Mayor and City Council, thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to showcase a synopsis of the Office of the City Secretary. My name is Barbara Dahl, as many of you know. I'm fairly new to the organization, but I certainly have been impressed by the City of Kennedale and its leadership and employees. So I just wanted to start off with something a little fun, just in case it was getting a little, dry. Not that government could ever be dry. But I just wanted to touch base on just some fun things. City clerk is the oldest of the public servants. It's the second oldest is the tax collector. Early keepers of archives were often called remembrancers. And before writing came to use, their memory was the only public record. And we can just say, thank God that has changed. Ancient Greece had a city secretary who read official documents publicly. And then when the early colonists came to America, they set up forms of local government, and the office of city clerk was the first to be established. And Texas law does require a city secretary once it has become incorporated. So just some fun facts. I just wanted to share that with you. So what does the city secretary do? I think you guys all know. I'm not going to bore you with the facts. I know there's a baseball game somebody wants to get to. So I just want to touch base, just a couple of things. Obviously, election process, we do ensure transparency and access to the city records. And we facilitate the city's legislative process. We record all the government history, keeping the minutes, making sure we're in compliance with state and federal and local statutes, as well as our city charter. We also take care of the Open Meetings Act and the Public Information Act that we all abide by. And we are the filing authority for the campaign finance when it comes to elections. Here there's one going on right now. We do all kinds of fun things with that as well. So for 2025, by the numbers, in 2025, we had 185 public information requests, which is a lot. It keeps us very busy, keeps all of our departments actually very busy with people requesting things. In full disclosure, the next number is approximate. I was only here for 6 months out of the year in 2025. So that 68 number is kind of my best guess. But that is putting ourselves in public meetings, including the city council meetings, the economic development meetings, different boards and commissions, trainings, industry meetings, and so forth. And we did pass 10 ordinances, 3 resolutions, and 10 proclamations. So the first year I crossed out and made that 6 months, since I was only here for 6 months of it. That election process is definitely an achievement. I know it's less than 2 weeks away, and it just doesn't start in April. It literally goes the whole year, as all you guys know. But it does keep us very, very busy. We have launched 2 different softwares. They did launch in 2026. However, we started the implementation of them in 2025 with trainings and such. And those are the voting system, which we all are growing to love, and our Just FOIA, which is our public information software. Obviously, the boards and commissions in the fall, we appoint new members to our boards and commissions. We have to keep track of the terms and the meetings and how many percentage people attend and so forth. So that is something that is an achievement. We have some pretty outstanding people in the city of Kennedale who are representing us quite well. So just a huge shout out to those people who are serving on those boards. It is appreciated. Public information requests, obviously we're ensuring compliance. I'm proud to say we have met all of our 2025 requests in a timely manner. So I'm very proud of that. And then obviously being new here, we've established some new relationships, learning new people, new personalities, expectations, learning laws, learning charters, policies. We've just been very, very busy. So what else do we do? Not showing the slide very well. Just a little bit of everything, kind of a potpourri of the city hall. We have our hands in lots of bits and pieces of a little bit of everything. So the legislative related duties, obviously agendas, agenda packets, minutes for both the city council and the economic development. I'm the records custodian. That includes retention and destruction of records. Right now we are in the process of getting everything digitalized. So that is going to be a huge process as well. Obviously, we ensure compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. We're very strict on that and very proud that we have been very successful in that. Obviously, collaboration with legal counsel as needed. They're good support for us. We publish in all required legal notices. That includes election notices, public hearings, etc. As far as the open records, we work with all departments, as I've already mentioned. And the election, we are 11 days away, but who is counting? Also in charge of the alcohol liquor licensing and bingo licensing. Back to the boards and commissions, I work directly with the liaisons. We have some pretty great people that are helping with those boards as well, so they do a good job. And then I maintain, obviously, the city codes and ordinances and make sure they're codified as necessary. I am involved in the certification program right now. It's through the University of North Texas. It's a 3-year program. Training helps maintain high standards of public service for the city of Kennedale. It requires approximately 200 hours of individual home study and online. There's exams over 4 courses. There's 8 seminars we have to do. It'll take some time to get through it all, but participation in these programs enhance the operational efficiency, support success planning, promote compliance with state and local laws, and strengthen our overall capacity and professionalism with the city secretary's office. And I am available for questions if anybody has any. If not, thank you for your time.
Community development. Ed?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Ed McCroy. I am the Director of Community Development here in Kennedale, and this is the 2025 Annual Report for Community Development. Hopefully this will be under 3 minutes. That's my goal. Okay, let's go. All right. So this is a very quick description of the responsibilities of the department. And as you can see, the major ones and the minor tasks, but this isn't all that we do. It's a very small list. We are kind of like in community development, a Swiss Army knife, if you like, or a multi-tool. We do a little bit of everything. And oftentimes, if no one knows how to fix something or do something, they tend to turn to my department to do it and to deal with it because we are interdisciplinary. Generally speaking, we tend to be focused on the long term, but also we deal with customer service on a very regular basis. This is the organizational structure, our staff chart showing our setup. We actually have 4 out of our 5 authorized positions currently filled, looking to deal with that one position that's open still right now. But I also want to do in this slide, make reference to and to go ahead and make sure that we go ahead and recognize that, there we go, a little better, recognize our third-party teams who are our consultants who help us as well. We couldn't do the work that we need to without those consultants. We just simply don't have the time, personnel, money to do that, so we have to utilize them from time to time. Okay, well, one of those blocks is not in there. I'm not sure why. There we go. This is a general description of development process. How does a lot become a building? Right? How does a bill become a law? Kind of. We start very generally zoning, platting, those kinds of things, working on down to pre-development meetings, a lot of those with applicants and many plans that people submit. Then we get into the actual construction phase. Once all of those plans meet of all our vast regulations, which if I put them on this pile on this desk would be about this tall. And then finally, we ultimately get these buildings built, people occupy them, and then we're in the realm of certificate of occupancies and code compliance, right? Which is a big part of our job is code compliance as well. All right, let's see what's going on here. Why is that not working? Okay, I don't know why none of this, there we go. Okay, these are some of our highlights from 2025. We'll see that some of these issues have gone down a little bit. There should be some arrows on here. They're not showing up for some reason. There we go. As we can see, we've had a little bit of some areas where performance has gone down a bit compared to last year. Some areas that have gone up. Most significant, you will see that we have 930 code compliance complaints. That's up 57.8% from last year. It's a significant jump. I credit that to the software that you guys allowed us to purchase last year. Allows us to respond to these things more quickly, more accurately, and to track them. A lot of cases were phone calls, et cetera, that never got tracked. So there was work that we weren't even identifying. And you'll notice also that we had 58 certificate of occupancies. That's gone up 38.1% since last year. I credit our great partnership with our fire department and our police department for that. Why do I say that? That's because they do annual fire inspections on buildings. And so they help us find properties where maybe the certificate of occupancy has gone expired, or new businesses that have come into places and don't have one. So we work very closely with them in that regard, and it's been a very successful partnership. Also, I'll mention that with new residential and commercial building, we've added about $10 million to the city in terms of tax base over the last year in 2025. So that's pretty successful. The one thing I do point out to you is that we did have a failure rate on inspections of about 15%. That's a little high in my opinion. Looking to try to maybe drop that optimally to 5% or less. I think that maybe increased communication, possibly some additional education, with our builders is ways that we will look to try to reduce that. Every time you have a failed inspection, that means a project takes longer to complete, right? And not only that, but it means more work on our staff as well. Because now they have to go out a second time or a third time to inspect these things. So trying to focus on over the next year, dropping that number down. So by next year, hopefully we'll be in a much better position than we are right now. I'm not sure exactly where that comes from, but I think perhaps with additional communication, we might be able to make that a little bit more successful. All right. That is the, unless anyone has any questions, that's my report. Oh, shoot, took me a little longer than I had hoped. I apologize for that, but I think I did win the contest for the fastest one. So far in first place. Anybody have any questions for me? If not, thank you and have a great evening.
Did we not get put on here? Oh, here it is right here. There we go. No kidding. That's what I was saying. Thank God. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Thank you very much. My name's Eric Carlson. I'm your interim chief of police. This is going to be the 2025 annual report for the police department. Our mission statement and core values have not changed. We still believe that community-oriented policing, just focusing on building on trust, integrity, and purpose is what we do believe in, and that our core values is treating everyone with dignity and respect and being professional, being personally accountable for our actions, and then being role models for the community that we serve. Just here quickly, and my message to you is just continues to be an honor and a privilege for the members of the police department to serve the communities of Kennedale and its visitors. And one of the things that we do is we strive for excellence in our duties, and we believe in our vision to save. And that just stands for service, accountability, visibility, enforcement. We believe that these things will have a positive impact on the prosperity, safety, and security of the communities that we serve. This is the management team. Try not to pay a lot of attention to that guy on the far left. This is me with our 3 sergeants that we had in 2025. Our staffing, it really hasn't changed. We have a chief of police and obviously a captain, 4 sergeants, 4 corporals, and there are 11 officer positions. There were 3 support personnel in 2025 for a total of 21 sworn and 3 support staff. This is the organizational chart. This still remains accurate at this time. As you can see here, nothing here has really changed on this, with the exception of the animal control officer was taken over by Municipal Animal Services late in the year. Just as a year in review, we were very active again in 2025, and I put on here that even the building was busy. I put some photographs up here. Officer Miranda there, she was one of the recipients of the monthly recognition program that the city has. The old jailhouse was removed from the building. That was quite a sight to see. We got some photographs of that because I thought it was kind of neat. I never thought I'd see that thing leave that building, but it was really good to watch it finally go away and have some space to do something in. we are very grateful to the community and obviously to you for allowing that to happen and helping to make that happen. Went out and played around in the snow and ice early in the year. We did some recruiting events at the high school, and then obviously out there just on patrol doing what we do. A little bit more, some of the things that we do, some of the events that we attended throughout the year was Veterans Day, our public safety open house. We try to get out to our schools, do a little reading. I do some of that sometimes. That was some of the kids I was reading to one day there at Delaney Elementary. We did some active attack response training, keep our officers sharp in the event that we have something like that happen. We visited some fall festivals in the fall. And then obviously, of course, our wonderful hometown Christmas. That's one of the big events here, one of the ones that I certainly enjoy. Did I just miss a slide? Or was that me? Nope, I didn't. Okay. Had 2025 National Night Out. We did really good again this last year. We were actually second in Texas and fifth in the nation for a city our size. So we're doing pretty good on that. And we have to thank everybody that's involved. That's everybody here in the council, all of our communities, just everybody that gets involved in that. It's a big deal. We continue to try to do well in that. We're going to try again this year, see if we can do a little bit better. Other major accomplishments that we had in 2025, we continue to partner with the Mansfield Independent School District to bring in interns. And these young people come in, they want to start a career either in law enforcement or some type of government, city government service. And so they come out and they spend some time with us. So we actually had folks from TCU, Oklahoma University, which I thought was kind of neat. OU came out to be with us. Again, we were second in Texas and fifth in the nation for a city our size at National Night Out. And then some photographs there. We actually got the police department remodel completed. And once again, we're very thankful for that. One of the other major accomplishments for 2025 was our unmanned aerial support unit. This is our drone unit. These are the photographs of some of our pilots. This is a great program. We use it probably not as much as we would like to, but when we need it and it's there, it's really good. Some of the awesome photographs and videos that you guys see at some of our events are actually taken by these pilots. They fly the drones over our events, take those photographs, share those videos with us. For hiring and promotions in 2025, Corporal Burns was promoted to sergeant earlier in the year. We brought on Officer Garcia and Officer Cosme as well. So then by the numbers, just the calls for service comparisons between 2023 and 2025, you can see that some of the calls for services, they fluctuate from year to year. Some of these have gone up, some of them have gone down. Just in self-initiated traffic enforcement, you can see in 2026, we're already trying to work on improving that as well as with our traffic violations. We do a lot of business checks. We want to make sure that our business community is secure and we're taking care of them as much as possible. Crime statistics for 2025, if you can see that, it's kind of hard for me to see even on this screen. This doesn't translate very well from the NIBRs, but we try to bring it up a little bit better on this graph here. As you can see, just the crime statistics over the last 4 years, from 22 to 25, you'll see that that's kind of cyclical. They go up and they go back down, then they come back up. And then by the numbers again, this is just another graph to kind of display that just a little bit better for you to be able to see there. And this was just for your calls for service, business checks, traffic violations, and self-initiated traffic enforcement. For the training milestones for 2025, we had about 90.95 hours per officer. So that's every officer is receiving that. And as you may or may not know, we're required by the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement every 2-year training cycle to actually have 40 hours of training. So we're able to exceed that most years. We're going to continue on that track. And that's everything from sending officers out to schools to get training or training in-house for just online training and things like that. And And I want to thank you for your attention and giving me the opportunity to come up here and speak with you tonight. Any questions?
Just to clarify, you were talking about the drone program. I know like we haven't had a lost child yet, thankfully. But one of the things that you've been using it for is, for example, the woods behind my house, which is the future cemetery plot, getting out there in those dense woods to see if there's any trespassers. And it's been similar things like that you've been using this program for?
Yeah, so one of the great benefits of having a drone program is that there are areas in the city to where if an officer had to actually go back and try to walk back into that area, it could be maybe hazardous to the officer, or it would just take an extended amount of time. So let's say if we're looking for a lost person, or we're looking to see if somebody is trespassing on a large piece of property, we could launch that drone and get up pretty quick and just take a look around to see if somebody's there.
And then we're also being utilized in other municipalities locally for other situations?
We actually have responded to Mansfield last year at one point in time when both of their drone operators were not available. They had a suspect at large, and they asked if we had an operator, and we did send an operator.
That's excellent. Just one more quick question. I've seen increased visibility when it comes to the 18-wheeler issue that we've had from all the construction. How's that going? Is that being addressed? Is there protection there? Or?
So I know the 18-wheelers are a big deal, and we're responding to that. Or one of the things I'm pushing our officers to do, especially in those areas like Sublet and Little Road, is to get out there and make contact with those violators and tell them, hey, you know, there are other ways around the city besides going down these marked paths that say no through truck. And so we have been stopping those trucks, and we have been issuing some citations on those.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief, I know last year we came in second in the state for national night out, and then we're second again this year. Do you happen to know how close were we to first? Are we just a few houses off? Or?
Councilman, I couldn't tell you. I do not.
We'll look into that and try to get first next year.
We'll work on that one, though. Sure. Any other questions? Thank you very much for your attention tonight.
Thanks, Chief. John, thank you for presenting for the EDC tonight as well.
Right. Currently, I'm John Horton. I'm standing here as the EDC treasurer, not as the city's finance director. So I'll be the finance director in about 5 minutes. Of the EDC board members and officers, we have a couple that are in front of me right now. The city manager is also the executive director for the EDC. That's a non-voting member. Our city secretary is also non-voting, and I'm non-voting. And we have the list there. For brevity, I won't read everybody's name. Purpose and responsibilities. The EDC is responsible for development and implementation of a comprehensive economic development plan. Some of those responsibilities are industrial, retail, tourism, and commercial development for the city. Revenue sources. The main source of revenue is sales tax, and we have a breakdown on the presentation. This is also on our city's website, but Kennedale gets 2% of sales tax. 1% goes straight to the general fund. 0.5 is for property tax reduction, which goes into our property tax calculation for our budget. That's in our truth and taxation document. And then 0.5 to the EDC. We also have event donations for 2025. That was exclusively to Hometown Christmas. Investment income, sign revenue. We do have some billboard rentals. We have rent from the town center. We have rent for land with South Point Constructions leasing some property to house equipment. And then miscellaneous revenue. Here's a breakdown by percentage. So sales tax, this was actually a bit surprising when I looked at this. Sales tax is 2/3 of the revenue. On face value, I expected that to be larger, but you can see our town center rent is actually 20% of revenue. Now this is the fiscal year, not the calendar year, just for clarity. And these were the unaudited numbers. So our deadline hit before we could do all our adjusting journal entries. Next few slides, some of these similar to when the city secretary was presenting things that were started in 2025. They might have ended in 2026, but this land purchase, 811 West Kennedale Parkway. remodel of the former Dollar General site. 611 West Kennedale Parkway. This is a development. You can see dirt moving if you visit that site right now. We're expected to have 15,000 square feet of retail space, generating over 21,000 annually in property tax revenue, and hopefully that same amount in sales tax revenue. We're definitely looking forward to that. Right across the street, this is the convenience store location, projected to be $2 million in value, helping us with both property and sales tax revenue. 300 Bolin Hotel, projected property value over $4 million. Kennedale Oaks, there was a recent groundbreaking. This started in 2025, although the groundbreaking was in 2026. Speaking of the drone program, that photo on the left was actually taken from video from one of the police department drones of the old Dollar General space, and we have the ribbon cutting there on the right for the DG Market. The next slides are before and after on the parkway. We have Beards Towing. See before on the left, landscaping was getting kind of shabby. On the right, a lot of work painting and a lot of cleanup done on that building. LBK Roofing before and after. This was going from a concrete slab to a baseball training facility on 621 North Little School Road. And recently, First Fence had the ribbon cutting. We can see on the left when it was a vacant Kennedale Campers facility. Again, that project started in 2025, even though it really came to a genesis in 2026. Next phase of the EDC, some 380 agreements. Quick Roofing's active and generating revenue. It's actually on pace with the projections that were made in inception. The other active one right now is Southwest Ambulance. Their facility is complete per the agreement, and they are eligible to start receiving rebates. Next few slides will seem familiar because I unashamedly stole them from the library's presentation. But the Town Center Car Show, you can see that we've had an escalation over the last 3 times we've held the event in attendance. I believe we don't have any more space for it going forward, that's awesome. Hometown Christmas had a bit of a dip, but if you recall, it rained pretty extensively right before the event, and then I think the fireworks triggered rain toward the end of it. And just a picture of Hometown Christmas, that being an EDC event and something we can all be very proud of. And that's a really impressive picture with the tree and the fireworks. That's the end of the EDC portion of the presentation. Does anyone have questions?
I do just want to add, the property that he displayed with the 15,000 square foot retail coming at 600 West Kennedale Parkway, that was EDC property that we did sell in reference to, in the sense of a 380 agreement where we sold it at a discounted rate, to bring this to fruition. And the construction of moving dirt and trees have started. So I just want to clarify that that was EDC property and we sold it.
Okay, with that, unless there are objections, I'll move straight into the financial report. Perfect. As typical, I'll just compare back to the prior year. So property tax revenues at almost 5.9 million. That was 98.3% of our budget. At the same time last year, at 97.8, so directly on pace with that. Our sales tax revenues at 23.9. Prior year, we were a little bit ahead of that. We were at 37. I'm not too concerned because the way we've aggressively budgeted sales tax, but there's also predicted bump over the summer due to one of the 380 agreements I previously mentioned. Our general fund expenditures were at 42.1%. This time last year at 43.4%, so we're staying exactly in line there. Our fund balance, our reserve at 187 days, it's 51%. This time last year, we're at 57%. That gap is just due to the difference in sales tax revenue. Our water sewer fund, we haven't been able to compare those directly until this month. because we were a month behind in the current year and then we were current in the prior year. This will be a 1 month that we have a direct comparison. So we're looking at 36% to budget on our water service sales. Prior year was 35.65. I don't know if we could get any closer to the budget than that. Sewer service doing 49.9 compared to 43.8, so that's also close. As far as the utility billing and operations at 66%, this time last year we were at 63%. So keeping right on pace. Same story with stormwater, 37% to 41.5. Now the EDC, sales tax revenues, 34%. So we're actually ahead a bit on the EDC. We're at 30% this time last year. Same story with rental fees, operations. We're all in line with last year. Do you have any questions on the monthly financials? Okay. The last report from me is this quarterly investment report. There really weren't a lot of changes in the quarter. We have a plan and we're sticking with it. Just some overall perspectives. We brought in Logic as an option because the return on that is slightly higher than our other two pools, being TechStar and TexPool. So we are going through the process of moving funding in the pool accounts to pushing the bulk of that into Logic so we can take advantage of that larger return. When I say larger, it's minimal, but it's still more. So I don't want to argue with the more. There's a little bit of more effort in managing the cash funds, but it's definitely worth it. We did pull some money from Frost from our T-bills, a tranche, in anticipation of spending funding on the public safety remodel. Some of those larger bills are heading our way. So we had to bring cash back into our pool system so we can access it quicker than through the T-bills. We may pause that strategy due to that interceptor project looking like we're going to be spending a bulk in 27 rather than 26. So we'll probably start recycling the T-bill strategy until we need more cash for that interceptor project. Are there any questions on the investment report?
Director Horton, I just have one. Do you happen to know off the top of your head what the rate of return is for the city's portfolio, the 45 million?
Not offhand, no. It's actually, it sounds like it would be easy to calculate, but each investment has a different way that they show their funding. So it ends up being a manual calculation that I just don't have offhand.
Thank you.
John, you might know my question because I've been bugging you about it for a couple months, but I just want to hear you say it. We saw our audit earlier this evening. Did we make the state's deadline okay? Everything's good with that? Well done. People might not understand how serious that was, but that was very serious this year. And now I can go around and brag for you around the state.
Yeah, we were a couple days ahead of schedule, actually. Many thanks to the finance department and also Forrest Mazars. They're generous in sending us a lot of compliments, but it's really them driving that process. They're a great partner.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Once again, I want to say thanks to our staff, our management team for coming out and displaying exactly what we've been able to accomplish over this past year. As you can tell from last month and this month, I'm very proud of each of them. They come in and they lead by example, and I'm very proud of that. And they show that tonight. With that, I want to invite everybody for April the 30th at 6 o'clock. Our mayor will be presenting for the last 3 years of not only his service, but also the council members that's been involved in presenting basically our annual reports. And it's up to them, or it's been their obligation to come in and serve our community and giving us direction, giving staff direction to come in to accomplish what their goals and what their vision is of the city. I invite you to come out April the 30th and come see what the state of the city and what our mayor will be presenting to you of our accomplishments. I think you'll be very proud of our city council and our staff of what we have been able to accomplish, because looking at it and going through the presentation, it's remarkable. We have achieved a lot of great things, and I think you'll be impressed if you come in and be a part of it. I love to see you here. Obviously, the council and the mayor will be here to answer any questions. It'll be a town hall meeting, so it'll be an open session. So we invite you to come out and be a part of it.
Mr. City Manager, thank you and your staff for your service to the great citizens of this community. We certainly see the great job you guys are doing, and we're all appreciative of it. So thank you very much. So this brings us to the final item on our agenda tonight. I believe we were scheduled to go into executive session, but based on, I believe we don't have an update on the appointment of the citizen to the Municipal Animal Board. So with that, I guess.
Yeah, just add, we have advertised for the Municipal Animal Service. We have not received any applicants for the Municipal Animal Service request. With that, I ask that we continue to allow Jeff to continue to represent the city at this point until we get some interest in a citizen coming out, being a part of the animal control and giving us advice and being a part of that committee.
All right. Well, thank you for the update. So I guess it is time for everybody's favorite motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All right, it is 7:34 p.m. and the meeting is adjourned.